Hey everybody, it's John back at Lake Erie Chestnuts here on our 10-acre chestnut orchard in its 10th year. We started in 14, really planted a bunch of trees in 15, and we're up to about 450 trees, of which a couple hundred are producing some chestnuts. And we're back out here now about a week later picking up chestnuts. We have this early producing Perry tree behind me, and we're going to start picking up chestnuts so they don't get weevil problems and the deer don't eat them all. So we talked last time about buying a chestnut orchard for $1 million, and got a lot of feedback on that. I like that. Today we're going to talk about how about if you wanted to start a chestnut orchard for $100. So let's pick up some chestnuts and we'll talk more about that. As far as land, we're going to say that you already own a piece of land. You got a house and you got a little place you can put some land, or you can put some chestnuts. So let's say you have a little side yard and you want to grow some chestnuts for yourself or a few for you and your buddies. You're not trying to make zillions of dollars, which good thing, because you're probably not going to make $1 zillion growing chestnuts. So you got your land already purchased. It comes in built in. Now you got to get your chestnuts. Well, I recommend watching a video on how to grow chestnuts by seed. I can link one here. Mine's not the only way, but it's been successful for me. So you can pick your chestnuts and get about 40 trees. If you buy medium to large size nuts, you can get about 40 nuts. If you buy giant nuts, well, then you're going to get fewer trees, but you'll get a different variety. You know, maybe you want to buy Japanese that are great big nuts, but shorter trees and bushier, and but still have some blight resistance. Probably don't want to buy pure Americans, because while I'm an optimist always, I'm not super optimistic at this point that the chestnut tree, American chestnut, is going to solve its own problem. Although maybe, you never know. All it takes is one tree to figure it out, and then you can pass those genes on, but so far, not great. You got to have a harvester. So how about this one? We picked up this off of Amazon. I'll put a link below. Garden Weasel. It recommended the medium nut gatherer. There's Nut Wizard. There's lots of different brands. I decided to buy this one. Someone recommended it. I think New Hampshire Mountain did. One of the followers. So we're going to see how it works. This is a cheap $35 or less. They did not have the extendable handle that they recommended, so that the gentleman recommended. I assume it was a gentleman. Most of my followers are men, but could have been a woman. So let's see how she works. So this is going to be $100, so you got $34 now in your harvester. You could pick it up by hand. So we got this. I think it's mainly made for picking up chestnuts that are already out. So we got a burr here, and we're gonna rub over it, and it picked up the burr. So that's pretty good. It actually picks up the burr. So that saves you from stooping down. Now let's see how she does with nuts. We'll put it there. That's pretty handy. Look at this, guys and gals. So now I'm picking them up. Uh-oh, a nut fell back out. So that's not perfect. Let's see, we'll leave it right there. We'll bring the bucket over. And then they say you just open up the wires and drop everything out. So there's a burr that's kind of entangled, that's got a lot of prickliness. So that's a way to pick them up. I'm going to try to pick them up without the burrs. So I'll use my feet. To break them open, and I'll use this to pick up the nuts if they're on the ground. I'll have to get rid of that wrapper there, but I got a nut there, got a nut there, and we'll kick the burr over. This one has a nut in it. That's pretty handy actually, guys. I don't think it's quite as quick as your feet, but you're not killing your back. They do make a wire thing that fits on a bucket. I may have to get that. We'll get rid of that burr. All right, so while I pick them up, we can talk a little more about our $100 orchard. You can pick this up for 34 bucks on sale, or you could use by hand and go for zero. So I would do $0 for harvesting equipment, even though it does save your back. I would do nothing for the harvester. This is pretty good. It picks up the nuts pretty good. I'm gonna have to say, I recommend Garden Weasel medium-sized nut gatherer. I'm gonna say worth the money. Corona Dual Link SL 4264s. Bought these on a great sale a couple years ago. They are beast pruners. I have the regular bypass shears, and then I have these. These are amazing. Sorry to see that branch go, but one low branch is out. Beautiful tree. Oh, I made a bucket. You have your ground, you have your chestnut seeds that you bought. Let's say your ground was free because you already had it for a house. You bought your seeds for 10 bucks plus, let's say 10 bucks shipping. Let's say 20 bucks total for seed. You can try sand, but I prefer, as I've shown before, peat moss, but you can buy a bag of that, let's say for 10 bucks. So you're 30 bucks in, and you already have some Ziplocs around, so you get your Ziplocs for free. Then you work on putting them in the fridge. You already got a fridge to stratify the trees. Now you got to plant them the next spring. You have a little garden box that you already have. You can do that, protect them. You're going to start them outside. I wouldn't start them inside if I was just doing one set of trees. I would try to start them outside and just put them in a protected area. You may have to build a fence for that. We'll see how much a little bit of, you got some spare wood left around like every dude does, and you go buy the hardware cloth for 20 bucks. So you're 20 bucks in on seeds, 10 bucks in on soil, and you're going to be 20 bucks in on the fencing. You'll get them started. Now you got to worry about tree protection once you're going to plant them in their final spot. And I would go on Facebook and I would find somebody giving away fence. You know, if you come take it down, we'll give it to you for free. Go drive over there, pick up some fencing. It could be, I wouldn't be picky. It could be 4x4 inch. You know, I would just tolerate a little more than I would otherwise because we're working for cheap. Get it for free, you're still at 50 bucks. Get a little bit of fertilizer. You may have some laying around. If not, buy a little thing of it. Another 15 bucks. 12, 12, 12, 10, 10, 10, something like that. Then you protect those trees. They grow up, you produce them, and you've grown a chestnut orchard for, you know, less than 100 bucks. You could also sell some of the extra seedlings, depending on how long you keep them, a year or two, if you can keep them protected, for 10 or 20 bucks a piece. Not trying to make a killing, but you may actually be able to build a chestnut orchard for free. So sell them to your local buddies. People are interested in chestnuts. Just they're not the best yard tree, but they do produce delicious chestnuts. Gotta say, my back is happy about this garden weasel. It's a rainy day out here. It's sprinkling. I don't know if that's picking up on the imaging, but probably is. Yeah, 40 or 50 chestnuts. We'll move on. Raining in the orchard. Gonna buzz down pick a few more chestnuts up. Well, folks, I had 3 days off. I picked today because it showed the least amount of rain, and the rain has just settled in. This is a Qing tree, Q-I-N-G. It's from a Qing mother tree, very common Chinese chestnut. A lot of orchards or tree companies sell them. But it's dropping a bunch of burrs. It's got a bunch of burrs on the ground right now. So I'm going to pick some of these up. The only negative of not hand picking everything is I don't reach down to pick up the burrs. Now this tree has a lot fewer fertilized nuts. It's just maybe where it sits in the orchard. A lot of unfertilized or singles. It's really handy, this seed picker up. It really picks up with very minimal force. I just roll it or pick it and it's good. Just looking at the nuts, I would say they're basically indistinguishable from the Perry. They're dropping about the same time. But I'll give this a little wiggle. It'll rain on me. Not going to work it too hard, but these burrs are empty. But I don't see many chestnuts, so I could have been donating to Mr. Whitetail. All right, I'm going to move along, but I'm not going to video everything. You're set up inside my truck and it's getting soaked inside. So I'll wrap it up. That's how you can grow an orchard for less than $100 and maybe even for free. Hopefully you enjoyed the series that we're doing here. Hope you're enjoying the chestnuts. Hard to see, but there's fall colors coming out there in the distance. Hard to see if you can tell that, but I'll zoom it in. Colors are coming in nice, beautiful. All right, I hope you all have a great day. We'll catch you on the next one. Remember, if you're not growing, you're dying. Beautiful thing. Fall's coming.